Welcome to the Judgment-Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast with Matt and Amy, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. Welcome to episode 78 for March 18th, 2024.
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to your weekly freak show that is the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast that's not so weekly right now. How are you, my love, Coach Amy?
I'm really good. But you're right. I kind of feel bad. And that
it didn't feel like that had been that long until I brought up last show notes to do this one. I'm like, oh, that's been a minute.
I've been putting out some rewind. Episodes.
Yeah. That's what you do in the media world when you don't have new media.
Things have been crazy. Like, do we want to just do a little catch up there on what's been going on?
Yeah, if I have anything of
or do we want to
interest?
go? Oh, wait. Well, let's do this. Do you want me to read and go by your outline, or do you want me to just?
How about we just ask people to subscribe, to share, to like, forward that podcast on to your friends, family, neighbors. Who you like, or if you don't like them, then send them that too. Don't forget, you always go to joyontheotherside.com. Check out our Beyond Spirits, the 7 tips to start your AF journey that helped us start our AF journey.
Absolutely helped us. That's why I want people to get it.
Is your PQ coaching stuff on there, Coach Amy, yet?
On your
website?
No, because what are we doing?
We're working on a website redesign that will have
positive intelligence
coaching. We'll have alcohol coaching,
marriage coaching,
and marriage coaching. So it's going to be a coaching extravaganza soon.
Yeah, and under my alcohol coaching, I'm actually I'm just started a new program called Choose Freedom. There is a devotional called The Plans He Has for Me, and it is a 3-month devotional. But along with it, the devotional can be a standalone. Or you can do this program that I have found and now have become a licensed coach, working on the certification part. And Suzanne, my business partner, and I started the Choose Freedom program with a small group. And I guess we're on to week 3.
It's 12 weeks, right?
It's actually, the program is 14 weeks right now. This is our beta program, so we've just started it, and it's a 12-week where you do the challenge, where you don't drink.
This is
challenge
different than the other. Yeah, it's a 12-week challenge of no drinking versus your regular program, which allows, quote unquote, allows for data points and.
I don't want to say. This is like the next step. Like, say you've done a 30-day alcohol experiment. Maybe you have done our alcohol-free spirit 6-week program that has the 30-day challenge in it as well. Our program, that 6-week program, it's just that beginning point where this is that next step where you're like, okay, I really want to see what living alcohol-free is like.
So would you say the 12-week program is not a beginner program, or could you?
No, I think it just depends on where you're at.
Right.
Because some people come in and are like, I am done. I don't want to do this anymore. I really want to jump in. But
it's also good for some people, I think, who need the discipline of,
the accountability.
We've had conversation about some people who are like, well, you almost get the vibe that they really want to quit drinking, but they just really want their coach to tell them it's okay to drink the way you do drink. I feel that's the kind of vibe I get. Where,
sometimes.
And this is like, you're in it. You're gonna do it. It's you're gonna put a stake in this ground and move forward.
Well, and I think what happens to so many of us, especially when you're in that, there's so much cognitive dissonance, and you're sitting there. You're like, okay, do I want to quit or do I not want to quit? Well, is it really that bad? And you have that battle, and taking a 12-week challenge, 84 days in a row, really helps you to really see what life can be like, really quiet your mind.
Right.
I don't know if I think a lot of people have probably seen the TikTok of Tom Holland, where Spider-Man.
Yes, I know.
And I just want to make sure you had like a look on your face. I'm like,
I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with Spider-Man. But
Well,
anyway.
no, because he took a break. It was either
Oh,
last
yeah.
year or the year before. And he was like, you know what? My drinking's gotten too much. I'm going to take a
Right.
break. And then he did. And he was kind of like, wow, maybe I need to just see. Like I'm even during the break, I think he was still like really on
Right.
that obsession with it. And he was like, I'm just going to see if I can get to my birthday. And his birthday
Right.
was in June. And then he was like, wow, this is great. Why,
Right.
this is what the Choose Freedom program is like.
Right. Right.
So that's one thing that all like really came up fast, and it's really exciting. Hopefully we will have Roseanne Forte on the show soon to kind of talk about it, since she actually started her alcohol-free journey right around the same time that I did.
It was a popular time, kids.
It was the beginning of COVID.
That's true.
The pandemic, and so people were either diving in deeper, or they were like, "Oh, well, what are we going to do?
Right.
How am I
So this is-
going to get healthy? How am I going to improve myself?"
So this is your first round of the 12 weeks, but you'll probably do it again.
Yes.
Right. But
Yeah.
somewhere in there, you're going to work in your alcohol-free spirit still, right?
Yes.
Okay,
But
so
so if you're interested in the alcohol-free spirit, let me know. We can get you on the waiting list for that.
Amy@jointheirSide.com.
Thank you, Matt. And then the positive intelligence. There's just so many
know.
balls in the air. I'm juggling.
How do you want to be coached?
Yeah. Well, really,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of what
A lot of it goes hand in hand. We've talked to a lot of people who the alcohol plays into the marriage coaching part. Marriage coaching plays in the alcohol. I think your positive intelligence kind of bridges between both of those. So they all play together, and it kind of provides us a toolbox, or more to the point, a toolbox of the right coaching. And I think that allows you, especially in the alcohol coaching, to draw from those other things to kind of provide a more well-rounded versus just looking at the alcohol.
Yes. And I would say that since we're doing this right now, I'm going to put this out into the universe.
Yes.
Putting this out to our listeners. I'm going to get Matt signed up to go through the PQ program.
Don't worry, she keeps saying this, folks.
I know. So I'm putting it out here. We're going to get you signed up, and we're going to get you started so that we can do some updates along the way in this as well. So maybe we need to write that down so that I won't forget.
You write that down so you won't
I'm going
forget.
to put in here.
While you write that down, I want to give a shout out to Pastor Sean, our pastor at our church, who checks in with us every week and has been checking the last 3 weeks. You guys get that podcast done? We're like, no, this week. And then you get nope. So we will send him an email. We got it done.
Do we do podcast dedications now?
Yeah. This one's going out to Sean at Vail. There you go. Sure. And anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day. This is St. Patrick's Day when we're recording. It definitely will not be St. Patrick's Day probably when you're listening to it. Amy did put on some green. I don't have a lot of green. I think it's the red hair. I had a shirt like that, but I lost it.
Yes, it's my Lucky Charms.
Yes. But
And it's so old that Lucky is fading off.
he is. If you were in
The leprechaun.
if you're in New York City this weekend, you could have attended the 13th annual Sober St. Patrick's Day that they've been
That
doing.
is so cool.
I think we talked about it a year or two
We
ago,
probably
but, yeah,
did, and we probably should go.
That would be really cool.
That would be a lot of fun.
We should probably go to a lot of places, but we haven't. But in the meantime, let's
should.
talk about our drink of the week. Amy, you want to go first? Which are green-themed
yes.
cans, so...
It's green themed. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I'm not like a big soda drinker anymore. I gave up soda a long time ago.
Partly because of all the sugar.
It's a treat.
Right.
But one of my clients, I think, or did we?
We stumbled upon
I
it.
think it was about the same time.
Sure.
What is it? Olipop?
That's
or
what
Olipop?
I think it's Olipop. I don't know. Olipop.
Lemon lime. It's a new kind of soda. It has prebiotics, botanicals, and plant fiber.
But only 4 grams of sugar versus a can of pop, which has 25, 30 grams.
4 grams of sugar, and then it so 50 calories. But it is a great treat. This is really good.
The lemon lime's good. The grape is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh,
If you like
the
the grape crush, it
I
is amazing without all the sugar.
I need to try the cream soda because I like cream soda. You're not a cream soda fan.
They have like a cola, which is
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's not bad, but
It's
I
not as good as
love
this.
the grape. I
Yes.
wonder, have we tried the orange?
No, I just hope it's not as disappointing the other orange I tried.
I know. So what's yours, Matt?
Mine, I don't like to do this to our listeners, Amy, because I like to share things that you can go out and buy yourself and try yourself, which you can, or more to the point, you could, except now it's sold out, is GoBrewing's. And if you want to get a $5 discount on your first order from GoBrewing, check out the link in our show notes. This is their Bad Arse Irish Red, which if you're watching the video, you can see the can I'll put up. It is a really cool label, an amazing beer.
It's a great leprechaun.
And it looks like me if I could grow hair and got really angry. And but it is sadly sold out. So
how much left of that do we have?
5 now.
Oh, I think I'll be having one of these this evening.
It is really good, but I don't like to do that because I want you guys to be able to go out and get it for yourself. But that is a drink. GoBrewing is always good. So
other thing that I'm doing right along with this 12-week challenge that I'm taking my group with, I started a 12-week challenge.
Amy loves challenges.
I love challenges.
That's why she married me.
I'm doing the Transformation for Life, which is
well, you have she was wanting to look for address alcohol. You wanted to address weight, so you kind of said,
yes. Hey. And Shelly is my coach,
and you're her coach.
I'm her coach, and I'm really excited about this.
Why haven't we had her on?
We should.
I love the pause.
We really should. We will. We will have her on.
Write that down.
And yeah. So.
But part of that is your sugars and the proteins and the macros and
all of it.
All of that.
And so I did before pictures.
Back fat.
Oh my gosh.
I blame the sports bra for some of the back fat. I don't think, unless you're like.
Anyways, I don't care. So I'm not going to show you those pictures. They might come out later after if I have like a great after, and I'm doing all the mindset work around this. And I've had the irritability from cutting carbs back. And no, I'm not cutting all carbs back, but empty carbs I'm cutting back.
Your popcorn.
That my popcorn that I think I was probably binging it.
It's probably good for us as a couple though, because the ice cream shop opened again for the season. And we had a probably 2 or 3 time a week habit at some points.
Yes.
So
let me
once
say
a week.
Here, everything is permissible, but not beneficial.
True.
So what we have to do is you have to plan those things in. This week was difficult because Maggie was home and she decided to make, and they're not bad. She makes these awesome vegan chocolate chip cookies.
As far as cookies go, they're probably fairly healthy-ish.
Yeah, I know. But so anyways,
as a cookie goes.
And it would be fine. But I'm really bad with this. Like if it's in the house, I seek it out.
It's all the same triggers of alcohol.
It is absolutely. And I would say that, cutting out sugar and processed foods for me has been so much harder than alcohol.
Well, because it's in everything. You don't have to drink alcohol. You have to eat food.
But
food
I can avoid going to the liquor department. Not that I do, because I go and buy AF stuff all the time.
Right.
But I have to really get a mental picture around processed foods. And on certain processed foods, I do. But, I have that. I'm like, okay, yeah, this causes cancer. Right. I mean, it does. But then there's certain things it's like cookies. I'm like, oh, this one, especially when it's made, relatively healthy. And she's doing all of her, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's all homemade. So
I don't even know, does that have maple syrup instead of sugar?
I
cannot remember, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm in this process. Friday was a bad day for me. I was really tired, really irritable.
But you tried the Chick-fil-A recipe thing. That was a big TikTok. The big TikTok recipe right now from Chick-fil-A is a kale side salad, and then Maggie did 5, you did 12 grilled chicken nuggets, and then they're spicy.
And then the spicy buffalo sauce on the top, and it really was good.
But I think, Amy, this challenge points to one thing that happens over time once you quit, of you feel better and you have more time and you start thinking of your health a little differently because you're not drinking. And that's where we started working out.
Yes.
And then that becomes, okay, now we're doing that. What's the next thing you can like? So it's not like you want to wake up one day and go, I'm going to, because this is a recipe for a train wreck, I'm going to quit drinking, I'm going to start exercising and eat well.
Yeah, no, I would never recommend that. And I know that
I always say pick a challenge and stick to that.
And I know people who have done that. Like I know other coaches who like they said, you know what, this is it. I am getting healthy. No sugar, no alcohol, no smoking, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and totally
If you can, cool.
did it. And I'm looking at them going, wow.
I think the bulk of society probably it works better of, all right, I manage this challenge.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry about the rest, and then you address the, like, because I quit drinking, and then I got a really bad sugar habit. I finally got that under control.
And what's funny is your sugar habit, I had really kind of gotten over mine and had worked through that. And then yours started gearing back up, and I started to gear up with you in that.
Don't keep ice cream in the house, kids.
But
It's just
I
not a
will
good
say,
idea.
no matter what, I have not, my initial, I think 12, 14 pounds that I lost when I quit drinking, that has never come back. This has been the last like 10, 15 pounds that like, like I've gone up and down, like, okay, well, I'll watch it. And then it goes down about 5 pounds. And then those 5 pounds come back up, and then they go back down. And then, so
it's like not drinking, like working on your marriage or whatever it happens to be. It's a lifestyle, right?
yes.
You can't think of it of, I'm going to do this for a while and then I'll be fine. No, it's an ongoing, like, I
It's a
quit
process.
drinking. I can't start drinking tomorrow and think I'm not a drink.
And again, this is going to be,
you can't go back to the donuts,
I know.
Donuts not a great example. We know about donuts,
But it's also like, you sit there and you're like, okay, well, this gives me pleasure, but it also can give me
anxiety.
I'm talking, alcohol, yeah, and sugar too.
Sure.
But when you sit there and you're like, okay, I want this, I'm like, well, yeah, diabetes runs in my family. I already had gestational diabetes.
Right.
So I know that
You're at a higher risk.
I'm at a much higher risk to have that. And I'm like, and then I showed you that scan of like what your muscles look like, cross section of a leg.
Keeps working out or doesn't.
Yeah, versus somebody who's been sedentary and literally your muscles just deteriorate. And really, even if you're a thin person, they deteriorate and you get this very weak muscle and you don't have the structure to hold your bones up.
But like I said yesterday, the downside of going to the gym is you do it to stay ambulatory and stay strong and be able to move. But sometimes the moves you do at the gym make you not able to move.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I'm sore, I can't move.
And I would say that even on Friday, like that was the first time I've had like sore lower back pain where I actually
It was that stupid
something.
dip thing, I think, because I'm stiff in my back.
I don't know. I'm
or
feeling
it could
good.
be that. I don't know.
You know what? I woke up yesterday and that was gone. I think it's all just a combination of, again, my body is regulating.
Right.
And the other thing is too, is like, I want to see the results. I mean, I know I'm getting stronger since we started working out last June. I want to be able to see those results.
And then, yep. And diet is part. Like you've always said, you can't exercise away a bad diet.
No, you cannot. So, anyways, so that's what's been going on.
And so going back to our, marriage coaching is one of our triads here. We have a new guide for you all. It's our weekly marriage meeting guide, which comes from our marriage coaching training. It will be available in the description down below to click a link. I would give you a URL, but we haven't built it as of this moment. So we will build that link before we put the show out and make a link for you to download, but we want to go through it with you.
Yes, and it's our weekly marriage guide, and it is also, it's brought to you by Mark and Jill Savage. They are our marriage coaches, and they have been, we've been going through this training with them, and they're like, yeah, you know what, use it. So we want to share this with you. This is the guide that we use, and
this is one of, and I'm not, sometimes I have a hard time getting into some of the, you should do this all the time, or do this, and keep, to kind of keep your relationship going. These weekly marriage meetings, I really like for us. I think it's important at any stage of a marriage.
We've always kind of done like little, but I wouldn't call them marriage meetings. What we had, we had a marriage, like, okay, a huddle. Like we were like, all right,
when the kids are little, here's 15 minutes after work and we're going to get together. And
yes.
So we've had some like connective time.
We've done that type of work, but we've never, like, even when the kids had gotten into junior high school, and they had a lot more activities, it was more of, okay, I'm going to go do this, you're going to do this. And so we weren't connecting through it.
And what I like about this is it brings in a lot of the other facets of the overall coaching program that we work through with people, but it's all in one meeting. You do it every week. It probably takes us maybe 45 minutes.
I don't even know if it takes, maybe 30.
Maybe 30.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
And if you needed this to be more abbreviated, you can, because we have done quick.
Yeah. We're like, let's just get through this.
Right? But I think if you actually plan this, I would say overall it could take 30 minutes.
Depends on what you do after your meeting. How much time you need to allow for it. We'll get to that in a minute. But one of my favorite, and this is actually step like 5 or 6, but one of my favorite things about this is the calendar part, because it takes time that you sit down and you just talk through like who has what going on. Now we don't even have kids, but we have the refrigerator calendar. This has like high level, like mainly things that are happening that are like, I'm not going to be home that day, or we have these things in the evenings are the main things.
And I think the thing that's funny is it's because we're managing, like, we both have a lot going on now. I mean, and it's more so with the kids. It used to be, it was all about like what was going on with them.
Well, right. The things we'd write down if we had the kids, it'd be like band
It was
practice
more
or
shuttling
soccer,
them down. Like that was, what we were doing. It's like, okay, you come home and that. But this is now encompassing the things that we're doing in our 2.0 life.
Right. So the first thing you do, and there's actually a sample script included in the download, you share one thing I appreciate about you. Yes. It's not just like, I appreciate that you're nice, and that's it. Like the script helps you walk through about why, and you kind of get into it.
And I know it feels cheesy to do this,
but we still laugh when we do it. It's like, okay. Yep.
But it does make you think.
And listen.
That's the key. It makes you think and go, oh, because over time, and even you and I have noticed that over time, we're starting to just remember some of the things. And it's just being in that connection with each other.
Because you're supposed to listen to what they're saying and then repeat back. So you actually do have to actively listen because you have to repeat back.
And then also asking, is there more that you want to share?
Yeah.
I mean, the other night in our training, one of the guys, he was sharing, it was something that he was sharing that was just he was excited about.
Right.
And it really got emotional. Like it really went back. And it's something where you're going to, as you're going through that conversation, you can go back and think about like in your childhood,
right?
Things that either were good or bad. And it's how you're reacting to current things. Yeah. And
it's something I appreciate about you because that's an action I saw in my youth, or it's one I didn't see in my youth.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the next one is something that is weighing heavy on me right now. So that could, it can be something as simple as like, I remember what I had today, like, I have like just a lot of projects. Right. So it's not
this week. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like super deep, like, the death of a family member, but,
But you even said, you brought up, because Maggie's she's doing a couple of adventures.
Yeah.
First time by herself.
Right.
And it is nerve wracking.
Yeah. You have to let them grow, but yeah.
She can do this.
Right.
She's capable. She's going to be in great hands because she's going to be going and seeing her brother for one of them. Right. And then one of her buddies from school. They're going to go and do
a 30-minute drive.
Yeah. But it's a big deal when you're the first time, especially up in the Chicagoland area.
Right.
So say a prayer.
Yep. Well, and that's funny because when the person is sharing, what weighs heavy on them, you respond with curiosity, empathy, validation, or prayer.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Again, that one doesn't have a script, but it's just a cue to.
The next thing is then you share something that you're excited about.
Which is where it gets. Actually, I always go to when we get to that one. I'm like, okay, now it gets a little easier because you don't have to.
What are you excited about this week? Or just in general, what's lighting you up this week?
Yep.
Then the next step is that you're going to look through the calendar, as we've kind of touched out, and you can look at the calendar for this month. Maybe it's going forward in a few months. You also can talk about your finances, anything coming up. I mean, i.e., we would really like to get a trundle bed in the podcast studio.
Anybody wants a crappy futon, give me a call. You can have it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's another story. And
But
then,
I do love the calendar part. Like, you don't even really use the refrigerator one, but it helps me.
well,
I think it just helps to get it.
Not true.
Well, you said you did. You said,
look at it. Yes, last week because I have a really hard time with calendars.
You do. You have a lot of calendars.
I have always had a hard time with calendars.
Which is why we went analog and not digital. It's
yes,
like, you know what?
and so I was
write
writing
down.
everything down, but then I got this because I'm doing this transformation for life thing that I'm going through. She has a calendar. And so then I'm like, oh, I'll try this other one. And so this week I did get things done. Don't get me wrong, but I was on a daily. But that overall weekly calendar where I can look at everything, I wasn't using this week. And so I did go and look at yours to go, okay, yeah, this is right. So yes, it is helpful.
There you go. And it's right there where we walk by, so it's easy. And then the next one is plan for a daily connection. What the question is, what is our daily plan for connection this week? So for us, we talk about like going for a walk.
Or going to we use the Y.
We go to the gym.
That, you know what, that is a date.
Although this week we're having Crystal from Crystal, what is it? Crystal Clear? Crystal Clean.
Crystal Clear.
So she's the organizer.
Professional organizing.
Thank you. She was on our podcast.
I was really trying to help you with that, but you were not picking up on anything. And we can do a link to the bio
in her that podcast.
Bio,
yeah, she's going to help us
podcast
organize our train wreck. Of
yes,
the back
and we're
room.
going to be doing some special. And will that be like a vlog? That
I'm
going to
record that either for her to use or if nothing else for us to use.
We'll be using some of it.
Yeah.
And, we're going to be showing you some
the train wreck that is the back room. But you know what? Everyone has a back room of their life.
Again,
it's like a junk drawer.
It's like for many of us, like drinking. We think that we're all alone in this, and we're not. We have a lot of stuff.
And I don't mind. I know people have crap. It's like
we have a lot of stuff, and you have a lot of stuff from your kids. You have a lot, like Luke stuff. I feel like we've got a good. When he moved out. He came in, he did some clearing out. He took some stuff. We do have some of his things yet.
Right.
But we've got some stuff that we have to go through. And I think this is going to be just the start of kind of getting rid of some things, getting some stuff organized. And it's going to be nice because she's going to be there.
She's going to be like our marriage coach.
She's going to be the coach who is going to give us permission to let go of some stuff.
And be a tiebreaker. Like, do you really? It's like, okay.
Exactly.
Versus it being me versus.
Yeah. It's you and me will be like,
yeah.
Let's not deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Just close the door. All right. Moving on our marriage meeting, we have, what is our plan for love making this week?
You could just said special fun time.
It literally says, what's our plan for love making this week? But, and it kind of goes back to with your calendar, you can plan it. And, if you have kids or even if you don't, put
it on the calendar. We have been doing that for a long time.
It goes by the wayside if you don't pay attention to the children.
Since the kids were little, it's been, it's not always been it has not always been a consistent thing.
Right.
But I would say overall, it has been a really, it's been something that we have tried to be very purposeful, which we all should.
Right. And putting it in your weekly marriage brings up the topic so you talk about it versus assuming it'll happen tomorrow, which tomorrow becomes next week, becomes the next month. Amy, what's the next one?
It says, is there anything we need to do to make our upcoming date night successful?
Which is a twofold. One is,
do you have a date night?
Do you have a date night? Right. And
this week, no. So I'm looking at our date nights as us, our workout nights.
Yep.
That's a date night. Because you have, it's interesting. Our extra stuff comes up for both of us now in the evenings because it's both of our I guess jobs.
Right.
So we have to kind of, I don't know. Maybe we'll do a coffee date this week.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, that could be.
That's the other thing. When you look at the calendar, then you can figure out I forget, Thursday doesn't have a lot going on. So let's put something on Thursday.
We could do that. Just thinking about it, we could do before your big thing that you've got this next Saturday. Maybe we do that as a little date before we go down, and I'll probably end up helping you with what is it, the Easter egg?
Easter egg hunt. Assuming the weather's good, yeah.
So fingers crossed
Yeah,
for all of those little, because last year
it was too bad. It was too bad to fly a drone.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. So,
and then optional, one of the last things is pick a curiosity question from the list that we also have. Which is,
oh my gosh, and I absolutely love the curiosity questions, and it's just really to get you to ask each other questions.
Yeah,
you know?
they're all over. And you again, it's optional, and you can just pick one, and you can both answer the same one.
Yeah, and it goes from everything from favorite memories of, childhood to, how does your father make you feel, your mother? How do I make you feel? Is there something in the last 24 hours that I could have done better?
Probably.
I'm sure. One thing from your bucket list that you'd like to do. So it's just to... what do you call it?
Just
really
connect.
And to bring up things that we haven't thought about. And I want to say that and then the last step, I guess to wrap this up, is you can hold hands and pray together, hug each other. I mean, that's the big thing that I have noticed in our relationship, especially when the kids, even having Maggie home this week, which was great. We don't hug enough during the week, and hugging is good for you. It releases all those positive endorphins in your body.
Yep.
And so we need that, but we also need that physical touch. And it just really helps us.
As Amy would say, the non-physical touch. Long story, but anyway.
So it is one of those where you can really just connect. I feel like this has made us more intimate just in, a personal, not on a physical level, but just personally, we are connecting so much deeper.
And I think, going back to the alcohol side of it, if you or your spouse are starting that alcohol journey, these are great touch points to have, like, to stop and have a real conversation, especially like, I need help with, or if you do this, you could help me here, or whatever it may be. So, they're good in general, but if you're starting a new or exercise, it's like, hey, maybe we could focus on meals. You could even do meal planning in here too, if you're in your calendar.
And I guess I'm going to go back to the appreciation where there's the script and where you're going through. One of the things is when you're having the conversation, it's about the person who is talking and sharing their feeling. And you, as the receiver of it, just need to listen and repeat it back and not sit there and take anything personally, because that's not the purpose of this. The purpose is for you to learn something and to support your spouse. And then you can go and talk. And there are other scripts as well. We're not including that in this, but there are other scripts that will help you as well, to have other talking points. I'm feeling, other feelings that you're having.
Right. Because this one is specifically about, something I appreciate, but there is one about just, there's something I'm feeling that can be good, bad, challenging, whatever.
Absolutely. So that's the weekly marriage meeting guide. So we will be getting this made available to you.
We'll link it down below as soon as we know what that link is.
We are going to do that for you, but yeah.
All right, kids. Well, there you go. A little bit of alcohol news, a little bit of marriage news.
And yes, and upcoming, we do actually have some upcoming interviews coming.
Yes. Rob from Generation NA.
Yes. And I think Maureen, I'm trying to get her rescheduled. We had to reschedule her for this week because the kids were both home. Yeah. So, those things happen, but.
There you go. That's all right. That's all right.
This is...
Life before podcast is what I say.
Well, it's also, this is our hobby.
Right.
This is one of the times that we're
meeting. This is one of our connecting times. Start a podcast. So. There you go, kids.
Why not?
Why not?
Everybody's got one, right?
Exactly. We've got two, so there you go. All right, kids. Well, that's it for us for this week. We want to thank you for tuning in to the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More, as you heard, podcast. I'm Matt, along with the lovely Coach Amy, wishing you peace and love from the cornfields, and we are out.